What's up today, boys and girls? It's another awful Monday morning here at work, and I want to talk about this new GMC 2500 HD. It's got the 6.6 gas for you guys that's been following the channel. And what we're going to talk about is oil consumption. Now, I want to start off by saying, I believe I said this in my other videos.
Right on.
If you go
I'm back tomorrow
by what the computer tells you in this truck, it wants you to go about 14,000 kilometers to an oil change. 13 or 14,000 kilometers to an oil change. I mean, that's just asking for trouble in a gas engine that pulls trailers. So I also want to say that in my eyes this truck's neglected. You know, I try to keep it that the oil gets changed on time, but it never does. It's always in a different province, or the guys are using it, or whatever. So I personally change the oil on this truck most of the time, but you know, I can't be the boss on when it gets done. So at 60,000 kilometers was when I did the second last oil change. I believe we ran it until there was almost 74 on it. Now, I suggested doing a 10,000 kilometer oil change in this truck because even 10,000 is probably too many. We use this truck for hauling a lot, so this truck is hardly ever driven empty. It's usually always got a trailer hooked to it. And like, for example, this is one of our small trailers. So when I changed the oil last time, you know, the oil life had just come on in the dash. The truck was just starting to say need the oil changed. But 2 weeks before the truck said it needed the oil changed, it come up on the screen right here in the dash, low engine oil. So that's 10,000 kilometers to an oil change is where I suggested to do it. And at 10,000 kilometers, the truck was begging for oil. Now, this being said, our highways around here is a lot of up and down. There's, you know, we don't have flat, consistent, long, straight highways like other places in the world. And when this thing's got a trailer hooked to it, and you're trying to keep your 65, 70 miles an hour going on the highway, trust me, this thing's working on the hills. Your foot might not be to the floor, but this newer truck, compared to older trucks, they've got this transmission tuned in, dialed in a little bit better. There's definitely some bad features on the transmission tune, but as far as tow haul and going through the gears and the upshifts, the truck keeps itself pretty happy and keeps its RPMs up. But on the highway, when you hit long hills with a trailer and this thing's turning, you know, 45, 5,000 RPM for the whole entire hill because it doesn't want to shift, this is where we're running into oil consumption. And I mean, 76,000 kilometers on any truck, you know, they shouldn't really consume much oil unless they're really having the guts driven out of them. So this thing does get used fairly hard, but you know, it doesn't get used any harder than what I use my own truck. My 8.1, I change the oil every 5,000 just for peace of mind. This 6.6 actually holds a little over 8 liters of engine oil, compared to my 8.1 only holds like 6. So the fact that they made the oil system a little bit bigger on this truck, it'll let them get away with this oil consumption problem a little bit better. But if this was like the old 6 liters and only had a 6 liter pan onto it, chances are, like the last oil change I did, it probably would have done severe damage to this engine. So I know most of you guys take good care of your trucks, change your oil on time. They're your daily driver. They're not just a work truck. But I wanted to do a review on this truck as a work truck that's used hard most days of the week. Doesn't really get a break. And you know, so far so good. Nothing's broken the truck. Nothing's let us down. There's been zero issues, not a single part yet. At 76,000, the truck's been pretty much perfect. So if you guys own one of these, change your oil before it gets 10,000 kilometers onto it, please. And you know, maybe in the future Chev will get off their butt and dial in this computer technology a little better, because you know, maybe 15,000 kilometers on an oil change is fine if you're just babying it around, not towing or anything, but it doesn't really seem like it's registering how hard it's working when it's towing versus the oil life and the computer and what it's telling you, if that makes any sense. So again, my advice: change your oil every 10,000 or less in these 6.6 gas engines, or you are going to find when you pull your stick out, it's going to be down. And if you really run it a lot on the highway with a trailer, at 10,000 kilometers, right here in this dash is going to be telling you you need to add engine oil, because engine oil is low. So that's our 6.6 gasser for today. Again, 76,700 and no issues. So let's just hope this thing keeps up. Those of you who haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I appreciate it. And those of you that have, I recently just hit over 1 million views on my channel, so thanks everybody for keeping dialed in. Really appreciate it. Helps out. So you guys have yourself a good day, and that's my 2 cents in the oil consumption in this new 6.6 gasser. So one of the big things I notice is even driving along, and especially idling, this motor doesn't seem to have any great amount of oil pressure there, running the 530, and we've tried a few different kinds. Rotella seems to be the best. Right now I think it's got Pennzoil synthetic into it, but only on a cold morning is about the only time you see that oil pressure get up any amount close to halfway.